Freya's Day, I felt like dressing up in costume for some reason. Friday, a day named after Venus because of its. I have a video on the order of the days of the week on my webpage on the front page. So, magically and numerologically, Venus has been assigned to the fifth day of the week. A 5-pointed star is the symbol of Mars, actually. The 7-pointed star, a symbol of Venus. Oddly enough, because Venus's numerological number is 6, and Mars's numerological number is 9. Those don't match up. And then because on the Sephirotic tree of life that we get from Hermeticism, Kabbalah, the Sephirot dedicated to Mars is the 5th one from the top and the bottom. And so 5 is allocated to Mars. The pentagon, a 5-sided shape of the building of where we launch our wars. And look into they mapped it out astrologically so that it's aligned with Mars in its opening day ceremonies and everything, which I think was on September 11th. Opening. Let's look it up. Opening of the Pentagon, my guy. The Pentagon date. January 15th. Oh, ground was broken. I'm always. Ground was broken on September 11th, 1941. Virgo season, dedicated in Capricorn, where Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and Mars's ancient Hellenistic joy is found in the 6th house of Virgo. There's the pentagon. And see, the pentagon is an upside down pentagram. If you put triangles on the sides of the pentagon, it's a pentagram. Known for magical purposes, usually surrounded by 2 circles. The 5 denoting the 5 visible planets, and then the 2 circles being the sun and the moon matched up with each other as an eclipse or a new moon. Or even a full moon, perhaps. Now, we currently have the moon in Virgo, which is a mystical thing. They have a very special relationship made up in our collective consciousness as the archetype of Artemis, the hunter goddess of that Greek. Beautiful imagery. Archetypical figures that exist in the heavens, in our minds, in the collective. Tarot cards are like that. When I first saw the images of the tarot cards, they struck a familiar chord with me. Well, they put them in lots of movies, and they use the symbolism. It's in Masonry. They go through and meditate on the cards. The tarot is very much part of Masonry because it's part of Kabbalah, because it is the Hebrew alphabet is the major arcana. And so they're used for meditation as windows to the heavens astrological in nature are the tarot cards, because the alphabet is comprised of the planets and the constellations and the elements, namely three: fire, air, and water. There's no Hebrew letter that denotes earth, per se. It's likened to the 23rd letter because there's only 22. The 12 constellations plus the 7 visible heavenly luminaries gives us 19, plus the 3 elements out of the 4, 22. The 23rd is hidden. It's enigmatic. Our Earth is tilted at a 23-degree angle, which is interesting. We have one viewer. Shout out if you are in the chat. I have new audio. I hope it's working well. Please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Oh, it always does that to me. Dressing up, priests dressing up in costumes is just like actors. It's to evoke a sense of whatever you're trying to get out there, express. What I try to express is I want to bring people to a sense of the divine, to an enchanted worldview, to bring us to the best perspective to have on reality and to align ourselves with it. So we're aligning ourselves up with the heavens, with the seasons, so that we can work the field, navigate the waters. Let's look at the chart of the moment. These are the days to remember. We won't how we want to. These are the times, and times are gonna change. The sun is currently at 25 degrees exact of Leo, near the fixed star Regulus, which has that attitude of regality, which the lion sign possesses. Nobility. It is the lion's paw. In Masonry, there's a lion paw grip that they use to pull a candidate, an initiate, out of the tomb of death into a new life, a solar body, because we are in the home of Leo. I like to make, I am not a Mason. I am very critical of secret societies. The whole thing I'm doing here is de-occulting what's been occulted. And I'll also show how this stuff is used by these dark occultists. But we're using it for the good, hopefully, to align ourselves up with reality, to be not manipulated and used, but to use it. It's simply how it is what it is. I mean, we would like to say that creation is inherently good, but it's just like a computer. You can use a computer to do good things or bad. A knife to make a sandwich for your friend, or to murder somebody. Is a knife good or bad in itself? Well, what we're looking to do here at the Aquarian is to bring out the good and to try to see the good in ourselves and others. It's easy to see somebody who's pretty and as a reflection of God, the goddess. But what about things that are not so, like a not attractive person? And they still express beauty. Well, what is that? Let us celebrate that and bring out beauty where there's ugliness. And that comes from the lingo of the light out of the darkness, which is a Kabbalah theme, because it's a Hermetic theme. But it could go bad when we cast off a whole other group of people as dark, which some secret societies do, and some sects of Kabbalah do. When those who aren't in the know in our group, the out group, is the dark demon devil that needs to be annihilated. So let's not go by theologies, worldviews, perspectives that lead to mass genocides of races of people. Because they come from Jephthah and Esau, and Edom needs to crumble, and we make these self-fulfilling prophecies by going by the script of Scripture. Those scriptures aren't the scriptures of my ancestors. It calls for the annihilation of my ancestors and the blotting out of their memory, and for the infants to be taken from their mother suckling and have their heads bashed upon rocks is what the Bible commands the Israelites to do, to take out the people of Canaan. The Bible is an instruction manual and a history record of subterfuge and of working your way through deception up into the high-ranking places of society and crumbling them. Oh, what? Where do we see such things today? And now let us look in our own interior realm. That's a little bit exterior. Where in our life are we demonizing something, making it a devil, a part of us? We have to sit with it and try to comprehend it. And in the comprehension of it is the apprehension of it. And then you ride the donkey, you ride the goat, you slay the beast, you make the beast your servant to build your temple. Instead of having a whole group of hoodwinked masons trying to build a third temple in Israel because that place was chosen by the people who wrote the book. Obviously, whoever writes the book about their people are going to make themselves the hero. That's understandable. Well, what Aquarian does, I don't like using words like tries to or attempts to. What it is doing is not trying to reconstruct what our ancestors did in the Iron Age, but learning it. With that knowledge, we implement it into our spiritual practices, our worldviews, our theologies, our ideologies. And often they're ones that highlight valor, courage, defensing, masculinity, femininity, a beautiful coming together of the both. So I don't think we should have an Iron Age religion for today, but at the same time, I think we should know it and bring it forward. And that means having to dig it up because it's been buried and burnt down. Well, we're rising like a phoenix out of the ashes, baby. Don't you know? Leo season is a time to put on a show. We have 5 days left. We have fresh brand new moon in Virgo in the western sky at evening. We should be able to see a sliver of it. The first sighting of the new moon is the first day of the Hebrew calendar system, the month of Elul, harkening back to the Canaanite, Babylonian, Mesopotamian, Sumerian god El, and Lil. It's a time of harvest, Virgo season. It's a time of penance before you meet Libra, which is where you is the book of life. Your name is either put in it and your deeds are recorded. So this is sacrifice season where they're sacrificing what? Virgins in Virgo. Which is why they did the 9/11 ritual in Virgo season, because they love to sacrifice freaking virgins. Throw them in a volcano. What inspires people to do dark child sacrifice, bleeding out children? Something about the virgin children blood that these dark psychopaths like. And they get these ideas, they're held in the Bible. They're constantly being told not to sacrifice your firstborn through the fire to Moloch. Well, that means they were doing it. If they have to constantly be told not to. And they show the devil is a construction of the Bible. The Bible made up the devil. Yeah, so that God of the Bible is actually responsible for a lot more death than the devil of the Bible. And they're both hanging out in heaven, talking about playing with Job. A total astral mythological story right there. The astrotheology there is that the devil, Satan, Satan, Shaddai, well, El Shaddai is a god. Satan is the god of the Bible. El is then Yahweh, came later and is more of a Greek influence. I-A-O, Yo. Ionanes, John, comes from that god, which I believe is also Saturn too. El Elyon, the highest one, is on the top, is Saturn, the highest planet, the furthest away. Rules Capricorn and the other winter sign, Venus, because it is the furthest away in the darkness of the cold of the winter, in charge of deserts. The desert god takes his people to the desert. The enemy to the god Osiris and Horus of Egypt, because the Canaanite Hebrew, I think the Hebrewites are actually Canaanites, but all their months are named after the Babylonian gods. So they're Babylonian peoples, but separated themselves, came up with the name Israel, I guess. A whole fictional founding story of that, and has some. The God of the Bible is also a horrible racist. What is that shit? Who's a jovial God, also in charge of youth. Juventes, as opposed to Saturn with the lead black, the black cube from Saturn to the moon. There's a Saturn moon matrix. Saturn takes an average of 28.5 years to make its rotation, to complete its 360-degree precession. The moon, 28.5 days. Both 28.5. Interesting. We study patterns as astrologers, and their meanings are obvious. That planet is cold and dark and way slow. This one, quick, fast, hot, fire. So then we relay that to somebody who's quick, fiery, young. So beautiful how we could study this makeup. The moon is in conjunct with Mercury today as I'm speaking, which is talking a lot, talking emotionally, but it's in the practical sign of Virgo. Emotional thinking about details and perfecting, purifying, like a virgin oil in Virgo. It has that purifying sense before it gets to Libra. And it could be overcritical and crazy, anal retentive, Virgo gone bad. So let us still reflect upon where the sun is in Leo and Venus, which is this fiery, fun energy. So let's soak that fun energy up as we go into the weekend, because we'll have plenty of time for anal retentive Virgo. We're tightening up our daily routines, our health, and so before we fully step into that, which a big part of us already is there. Mercury, Mars, Moon. The other glyph is Pallas Athena. Love her. Pallas Athena. Dark Moon Lilith is, the sun just went over Dark Moon Lilith. No one's been talking about Dark Moon Lilith and Leo. That's like the archetype of Dark Moon Lilith is, to me, a feeling of rejection, being out in the cold, but then being independent, being a revolutionary. Lilith comes from Delilah. It means the night in Hebrew. Darkness, the night. And they liken it to evil. Eve to evil, to feminine. And Lilith is probably, and they probably attach it to some pagan, idol, heathen god, namely the gods of our ancestors, unless you happen to trace your blood to, you have pure blood going to wherever the Bible was, ancient Mesopotamia. Gosh, I get so discouraged sometimes by what the religions that came out of the Bible have done to us, namely Christianity and Islam. The horrible things that we've been inflicted because of that. But let us take what good we can and to transform it, just as in ourselves. We're doing transmutation, transubstantiation from dark ignorance into light of truth. So let us choose to bring out the beauty and to highlight that in ourselves, and so that we might be more aware of it to it surrounding us in our environment. Let it be done within as so without. On earth as it is in heaven. God. I don't see what do we have at 25 degrees? We're trining. The sun is trining the North Node right now. Ooh, our heart could be really set to a fresh new fire, like gift could come in. A trine is in the energy of Jupiter, the benevolent one who gives. And then the adversary position, Saturn rules that. And that is that who takes away. The constrictor, Saturn, who constricts all the visible planets that we could see. Like a belt. Then he happens to have a belt. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. All right. This is asking us to get earthed. And we have a gift coming to us. I was talking about the pentagram with 2 circles around it. Getting balanced and knowing your worth. That you have the 4 elements: fire, energy, earth comes last, materiality. Water, our emotionality and our sexual forces. And air, our mental capacity and communicative nature. Above those all, in the aether, the gods dwell in the heavens. In our head, the heaved up place. Our mind. The brain is a product of the mind. The number one principle of Hermeticism, all is mind. The materiality comes last. Let us bring in the new earth. Oh, that's great. I'm really happy to get the Ace of Pentacles. I mean, we do have all that Virgo energy cooking. This is nice. A new glow to our vision. Like putting on a beautiful pair of glasses that like now all the colors are brighter and more vivid and the smells are more scentful. Let our senses be made alive. Why not? We have these beautiful gifts. Ah, justice. The Karma King. Karma Queen. Saturn exalted in Libra. The 11th card of the Tarot in between the pillars of severity and compassion. Reminding us that the time of judgment is upon us. So it's asking us to cut out, I think, material attachments that are keeping us from being free and that are keeping our scales unbalanced, that are dragging us down. Let us be courageous, Leo season, to cut those the bondage, the chains of our heart, that the chains around our mind might also be made free. Let the Venusian Libra home tint our perspective, love, beauty, harmony. May they come to us, saturate us, inebriate us. O Goddess Divine, may the sacred, holy Father, God and Mother Goddess unite in us and in the world around us. Thank you for being here for this astrological and tarot moment. You know what? I do want to grab one more card. Oh, let's check the live stream. Soul Trip in the house. Yeah, let's pick a card to send us off with my magical deck. Can you feel the love tonight? Tonight. We got Jupiter on the bottom of the deck. I just had to pick that up. If it was a bad card, I probably would have just ignored it. That's how I do tarot. I just keep on picking cards so I get a card I like. I make it have a happy ending. Because that's what we do. We have free will here. To grab the cojones of this beast and ride it. Beautify it. Transmutate our base animalistic mechanical desires. Control those waters like the moon, our emotions, and it's through our mental activity and our willpower we wield as a magician the electromagnetic energies. But Jupiter's not what I want to pick. And then Mercury was upside down on the... Let's also choose our words wisely today. Pay attention to that voice in our head. Know that we make them up. We could choose the voice that is encouraging us without slaying the one that is critical. Because let us be thankful for that. F. I did get F upside down. Futhark. The first letter of the runes. Looks like an A a little bit. Like that. F is a finality. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's a 6 letter. We're on Venus's day. Number 6. Friday. Friday, upside down. Let's turn that frown upside down and make this Friday a Fry-yay by invoking the goddess Freya. Together with the masculine god Frey. Frigg and Frigga. But they didn't pronounce the G like that. The G comes after the F. The G is the final, this Grandmaster Saturn, who's tomorrow, Saturday. Really, that's why they treat the Sabbath like they treat the Sabbath, because Saturn rules Saturn Day, which is the god of constriction of, it's like a malefic energy, Satan. So they don't do anything on that day, so it's not poorly affected by the auspices of Saturn. Well, we transmutate Saturn, and we use it for good, to construct, to self-discipline. And that's coming up in the future. But today, let us have fun. Let us have fun today. That's why I felt like dressing up kind of fun. Feeling our feelings and our senses. Venus rules. Our heart with the color green. Together with Leo, the sun, where we all are right now. Let's be critical of it. Are we really having fun here? If not, how could we make this whole thing a better experience? No, we're not. There's a time for seriousness. There's a time for fun. But this is saying, let us have fun today, on this Friday and this weekend. Let us have that childlike heart that Leo exudes so often. Let's be courageous to take the stage to shine our light. I love you all so much. Soul Trip, thank you for being in the chat live. The few but faithful. F words. F. Do you have a friend? A Venusian type energy. Friendship. Aquarius, the 11th house is like your group of friends. It's fun. All right, I love you all so much.